Wide Eye Sports, where every play, every moment, and every decision gets broken down like never before. The lights are on, the stakes are high, and it all starts right here, right now. We will now take you down to introduce the starters.
Brenner Mills, Minnesota Vikings. Just want to win one before I die.
Lane Cooner, the conductor of the Baker Train.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We made it. We are here. Free agency legal tampering. We are recording on Tuesday, March 11th. This video will come out on the morning of the 12th. So if anything happens post, let's see, hold on, sorry. Come on. Get my phone to pop up here. There we go. If anything happens post 2:08 Pacific Standard Time, we won't know about it unless while we're recording. So we'll see. So without further ado, welcome to Wide Eye Sports. We are going to be going over everything that happened in day one of free agency, everything we know of that happened in day two of free agency, all the trades, all the re-signings, all the deals, every single thing we can think of. So strap in, buckle up, and let's get this train rolling.
I just wanted to say something real quick. I know that y'all haven't noticed it, but in honor of the free agency and talking about one of the best players that's still available, I'm wearing my Stephon Diggs jersey because of that.
One of the best players still available. A 31-year-old Diggs coming off.
He is still one of the best players available.
Well, yeah, like as of right now, yeah.
As of right now, yes, he is one of the best players still available.
I mean, I would take the following over a...
Oh, just shut up and move on.
Hold on. Well, we're talking about it. Why not start with receivers? We're talking about him. I mean,
say who's available.
Who's a better receiver available right now than Stephon Diggs?
So Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen.
Those are all
those.
And then I would put Stephon Diggs because he's
put Diggs
one,
over...
maybe 2 years younger, coming off major knee surgery.
They're all in the same boat.
Amari Cooper is same
Diggs
age, healthier. DeAndre Hopkins always been better.
I could see the argument for that.
Always been better. Keenan Allen,
Diggs is better.
Crazy. Diggs got a number 3.
Come on,
spot.
keep going. Who was the last one?
I said
Wasn't
then
there
I would
another
put
one?
Diggs in. No, then I would put Diggs in.
Okay, so
That's what,
you maybe made the argument for one. I'd maybe consider DeAndre Hopkins.
2 to 3. He's like wide receiver 4 on the open market, and that's after Chris Godwin, Devontae Adams, and. Yeah, those are the only other two I'd put above him. He was like wide receiver 4 or 5, but this is like a historic wide receiver market for free agents. Let's take a look at all these names. So to start, there were Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, Diggs, Adams, Hopkins, Marquise Brown, Darius Slayton, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore, Melko Hardman, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Brandon Cooks, Noah Brown, Tyler Boyd, Tutu Atwell, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mac Hollins. I mean, and there's like twice as many names as I just list. Tyler Lockett. I mean, tons of names as like most of these guys are coming in either older to be a wide receiver 2 on a contending team, or they're, wide receiver 2, 3, depending on where they're at in their career. I don't think any of these guys, maybe Chris Godwin could have went in somewhere and been a wide receiver 1. And obviously with T. Higgins being franchise tagged, he's not available. But so let's go over who is signed. Let's go over who's not available. Chris Godwin back to the Bucks, 3 years, $66 million.
Love it.
Devontae Adams signs with the LA Rams, 2 years, $46 million. I would like to say Cooper Kupp is going to be available as of Wednesday, most likely, and I would put him at the top of the free agent wide receiver market.
I'll agree with you on that one. He would be if he gets cut or whatever, then
yeah, he'll most likely get cut, and they've said he'll get cut unless a trade develops, which they've had 2 weeks to work on.
Straight to number 1 on the wide receiver list.
But he was due to make like $26 million this year, and they're going to cut him to sign a 1 year older Devontae Adams for $3 million less. I just don't get it. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Why cut a guy who has been in your system, been a Triple Crown winner in your system, knows the team inside and out, great guy? Why cut him to save
Well, I see-
$3 million.
I kind of see why. It's because like when you think of Cooper Cup and you think of Puka Nacua, they kind of are very similar. Very similar. And they wanted to get that outside guy that's their deep ball catcher, and I think that's what they were trying to do by signing Davante Adams, which is
fair.
fine.
But tell me if I'm wrong here, or tell me if you disagree, I should say. When I think of Davante Adams, I think of winning at the line of scrimmage with that quick footwork. He's got crazy good footwork, winning at the line and creating separation to get open. When I think of Cooper Cup, I think of getting open through route running separation, running really crisp routes. And one of these years, Davante Adams' feet are just not going to be as quick, and he won't be able to win. Cooper Cup is going to be able to win with routes until his body disintegrates. So you're getting a finite thing with Davante Adams when you could have a sure thing who's younger, now 31 versus 32, only a year, and Cooper Cup, who is part of your system, who is a guy you love, who your coach loves, who has a Super Bowl with. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
You're seeing it with Adam Thielen, a freaking excellent route runner who's still balling because that's what
put
he
up
does
1,000
best.
yards with Bryce Young as a rookie in Carolina's shitty.
I think you have to also factor in injuries. I think injuries probably had something to do with it. Cup has not been. I mean, the best.
He hasn't been healthy.
Yeah. The best ability is availability, and
Yeah,
that's
I knew you were
unfortunately
gonna say
what. Yep, that's what I was waiting for. And that's unfortunately what they're probably thinking also by more than likely cutting Cooper Cup. Hasn't happened yet, but more than likely it's gonna happen.
Breaking news. Chief safety Justin Reed has reached an agreement today with the Saints on a 3-year, $31 million contract. Just a little breaking news just came through the feed. I'll do the Ian Rapoport thing. Have you guys seen that on NFL Network? They'll be talking on NFL Network, and they just have a screen with Rapoport on it in the background. And anytime he has breaking news, he just goes, and they switch over to him. It's funny.
I've never seen that. Oh, that's funny.
All right,
back to the Saints being a team that is just so succumbed to the cap. They're really signing some players for some big money.
Oh, I don't get it. It's dumb. They need to reset their cap. But anyways, back to receivers. Marquise Brown back to the Chiefs, 1 year, $11 million. Darius Slayton back to the Giants, 3 years, $36 million. I thought that was kind of crazy. Yeah. Joshua Palmer to the Bills, 3 years, $36 million. Like that move. They replace Matt Collins, who went to the Patriots, 2 years, $8.4 million. I think Palmer's a little bit better, and he'll serve a similar role as that top off the defense threat. Dewami Brown signs with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 1 year, $10 million. Tutu Atwell resigns with the Rams, 1 year, $10 million, which I thought was insane. Tutu Atwell is worth $10 million.
Yeah,
but Cooper Cup isn't worth 26. Like
Tutu Atwell is worth $10 million, and then Derrick Henry signed a $9 million deal last year.
Yeah.
Also, what's his deal with the Ravens? He's still there for another year.
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah. Let's move on. That's all the receivers. Justin Watson signed with the Texans, and Zay Jones signed with the Cardinals. That's all we know to this point. There is still quite a few names that I listed off earlier: Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Mike Williams, Elisha Moore, Stephon Diggs, and Amari Cooper, who have yet to sign. Cooper Cup potentially in the next few days getting released. Plenty of names there that have not, signed yet, but more to come on that. Let's move on. Let's get the big fish out of the way here. Okay, let's move to the trenches. Let's talk trenches real quick. So, lots of names here. So Ronnie Staley re-signed with the Baltimore Ravens, 3 years, $60 million. Love it. Ulrich Jackson re-signed with the Rams, 3 years, $57 million. Love it. Dan Moore Jr. re-signs with Tennessee, 4 years, $82 million. Don't love it as much, but it's okay. Morgan Moses to the Patriots. We talked about that on another episode this week. 3 years, $24 million. Jalen Moore signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, 2 years, $30 million. I think we talked about both of those on the mock draft episode that we recorded. And that's all the notable signings. A couple guys left out there on the market, some big names. Cam Robinson got traded to Minnesota, filled in for Christian Darrisaw last season, played at a Pro Bowl level. He's going to command at least $60 million, 3 year, $60 million deal, somewhere in there. Tyron Smith. Where does he go? We don't know. He's still a free agent.
Oh, he was at the Jets last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's just a free agent right now. Just a big name. Jedrick Willis Jr., another big name, unsigned. Trent Brown, another big name, unsigned. DJ Humphries, another big name, unsigned. These are all stalwart tackles who can play really good ball. Some of them older than others, obviously, and some of them with a little more tread taken off the tires. But all guys who can step in and play, all guys who can be used as stopgaps, band-aids. Cam Robinson can be, I think he's like 28-ish. I'll double check here. But if I remember correct, he's 29, so he's a guy that can come in and play on a 5-year deal, right? Like he can come in and be a stalwart left tackle for the next 5 years of his life. All right, and then the interior line. So big name on the list was Drew Dahlman, 26-year-old center from the Falcons. He gets a huge deal, 3 years, $42 million, signs with the Bears. Ryan Kelly goes to the Vikings on a 2-year, $18 million deal. He's had some injuries past couple of seasons, but 4-time Pro Bowl All-Pro center. Great deal there. Austin Colbert re-signs with the Panthers. Trey Smith, franchise tagged by Kansas City. Bradley Bozeman re-signed by the Chargers, 2 years, $12 million. Will Fries, the top guard on the market, 26-year-old guard, signed with the Vikings, 5 years, $88 million. He gets a huge deal. James Daniels signs with the Dolphins, 3 years, $24 million. Let's see, what are some of the other ones? Aaron Banks to the Packers, which that one was a shocker to me. Did you guys see that deal?
No.
So Aaron Banks, in my opinion, I am not a huge Aaron Banks fan. So last year, his overall grade was a 65, and he had a 60.5 pass blocking grade, which is below average and average via Pro Football Focus. He graded out as the 50th overall guard out of 135 total. So like top half to top 2/3 of the league at guard, and every team's got 2. So he's like a good-ish number 2 guard on your team. And the Packers signed him for 4 years, $77 million, and he'll be 28 when the season starts. That just seems like
seems a little much.
Bet you love that. Bet you love that deal.
I do, but like I love it so much that I'm like weary of it. Like, oh shit, am I wrong? Like, is he good? Am I wrong or are they wrong? Who's wrong here?
Yeah.
Because we then turned around and signed Will Fries for 5 years, $88 million. So almost the same average, and Will Fries is 2 years younger. And it just for Pro Football Focus's sake, they had Banks at a 65.4, and they had Will Fries at an 87.
Holy crap.
So considerably better on a very similar deal. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Laken Tomlinson signed with the Texans. They need a lot of line help, but they get a little bit there. 1 year, $4.25 million. Evan Brown re-signed with the Cardinals, 2 years, $11.5 million. Robert Jones with the Cowboys, 1 year, $4.5 million. So there's lots of interior trenches movement. We're gonna move over to the defensive side for edge defenders. So these are DNs and outside linebackers, and boy, were there a lot. There are just 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 39 edge defensive players that are pretty high name. Like halfway down the list is Preston Smith, longtime Packer, pretty stalwart of their defense. I mean, and that's halfway down the list. So I'm just going to start at the top. Khalil Mack re-signed with the LA Chargers, 1 year, $18 million. Great for them. Josh Sweat signed with the Arizona Cardinals, 4 years, $76 million. Hassan Reddick signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1 year, $14 million.
Hasn't played in a year.
Yeah, hasn't played in a year. Malcolm Kuntz re-signed with Las Vegas, 1 year, $12 million. Good deal for them. Deo Odenigbo, I think is how you say that name, signed with the Bears, 3 years, $48 million. That's a great signing for them. I'm personally, I don't like the lack of production I've seen out of him, but he's an absolute physical animal. If he can if he can get a coach that can work with him and mold him into a good pass rusher, which I think would have happened by now if it could, he can be really good. He's got all the physical traits, and that's why they paid him a bunch of money, because he's a physical freak. But like last year, he started 14 games, had 3 sacks on a Colts team that was playing from behind a lot, and you could just go rush the passer, right? Like that's why Trey Hendrickson had so many sacks last season, because the Bengals were down half the time, and he could pin his ears back and just go rush the passer. So I'm not trying to seem biased because it's the Bears. A lot of people had him very high. I did not, just because the lack of production scares me. Von Miller, released by the Buffalo Bills, unsigned. Zadarius Smith, he has a chance to complete the NFC North gauntlet and sign with the Chicago Bears and complete the Infinity Gauntlet of the NFC North. Longtime Packer, played with the Vikings, played with the Lions last season. Chase Young, re-signed with the New Orleans Saints, 3 years, $51 million. I think that's absolutely insane that the Saints re-signed him to that big a deal. Joey Bosa. Any thoughts on Joey Bosa still being a free agent? Do you guys think he'll be?
I think they're working. I think they're working
They're
on
working on it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen in San Francisco.
You think he's going to San Francisco?
Well, especially with how many players they've already lost. Like you got to bring in somebody.
You got to bring. Yeah,
we'll get into that a little later in the episode here. Aziz Ojulari, I think is how you say that.
You are so bad with names.
I'm so bad with names, man. I'm bad. I know what my weaknesses are, and names is not the thing for me. I'm great with faces. Not with names. DeMarcus Lawrence, Dante Fowler Jr., both unsigned. Chauncey Golston, he went to the Giants on a 3-year, $20 million deal-ish, 19.5. Matthew Judon, unsigned. Leonard Floyd, signed by the Falcons, 1 year, $10 million. And then this is when you start getting into the Brandon Grahams, Carl Lawson, Pat Jones, some of the backup guys who aren't as high up on the list, and guys that, unless they signed with your team, you've probably never heard of. But for the most part, like Derek Barnett re-signed with Houston, 1 year, $5 million. Darrell Taylor signed with the Houston Texans, 1 year, $5.25 million. I said Pat Jones, Anthony Nelson re-signed with Tampa Bay, 2 years, $10 million. So like I said, a lot of those guys, most people have never heard of. Also, interior defensive line. Few big names at the top of that. Milton Williams, obviously the big one. They had a potential for him to go to Carolina. And as far as I know, he committed to Carolina. And that's why we talked on our mock draft episode, Pro Football Focus. We used their mock draft simulator. They don't change any of the draft needs until after Wednesday, because something like Milton Williams can happen where he commits to go to Carolina, and then 2 hours later it's like, I changed my mind. I'm going to go to New England for $27 million a year. King insane. Or $26 million a year, which is his market value via Spotrac before free agency was like $21 million ish a year, and he got paid $26 million a year. That is insane. Javon Hargrave, Minnesota Vikings, gotta love that. Levi Onwuzurike, is that how you say that?
Not sure.
All right, not sure, but he's unsigned. Jonathan Allen, Minnesota Vikings, gotta love that. 2 of the top 5 defensive tackles go to Minnesota. We shore up our defensive interior. We have Harrison Phillips there already. That's going to be an absolute unit of a D line. Can I just smile about that for a second? I've had a good D line in some years, man. It's been like 2008, 2009 since we had like a true like studly D line. We got a fucking unit there in Minnesota now. Calais Campbell still unsigned. BJ Hill signed with the Cincinnati Bengals, 3 years, $33 million. Grady Jarrett to the Bears. That was a huge surprise free agent that happened like right before free agency started. The Falcons dropped him, which nobody saw coming. He re-signs with the Bears. Jaron Reed re-signs with the Seahawks. Pardon me. Poona Ford signed with the Los Angeles Rams, 3 years, $30 million. Tershawn Wharton signs with the Carolina Panthers, 3 years, $54 million. Trying to see if there's any other big names here. Javon Kinlaw to the Commanders, obviously huge one. 3 years, $45 million. Jonathan Hankins is still unsigned. Sheldon Rankins signed with the Houston Texans, 1 year, $7 million. So lots of big names there too. And if I'm missing any of these, if you feel insulted, there's 8 or 9 guys I'm not going to name here because they're 2 years, $15 million, 1 year, $7.5 million of Sebastian Joseph Day. If you're insulted that I didn't mention your team, I'm sorry, Tennessee. I'm sorry that you're insulted by me. Get over yourself. All right, linebackers.
Really
Top of the list.
Good one.
Well, Ernest Jones is a good one. He re-signed with the Seahawks. Other than that, that's about where it ends. Devin Bush was good. Eric Kendricks was good. Devondre Campbell was good. Devin White was good. Willie Gay Jr. was good. So a lot of was good guys on the linebacker market right now. But yeah,
Zach,
I would like to ask a question. Dre Greenlaw signed with the Denver Broncos, 3 years, $35 million. I don't like it. I don't like a guy that will be on the... When your team needed you, you were like, yeah, I didn't like how you treated me before. I'm not going to play. Like, am I the only one rubbed wrong by that? Well, that was Dre Greenlaw, correct? That was who that was.
For who do you play for?
The Niners, and they had an injury happen, and he was supposed to go in, but they had an injury.
He was the one. Wasn't he the one who got injured, like walking onto the sideline, or off from the sideline? He was like walking. I think that's him. Like I want to say that was like Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was in the Super Bowl.
That was him though, right? Where he was literally just walking onto the field and then he like fell.
So what do you not like about it?
I didn't like that they needed him to play, and he didn't like that they had started somebody over him. And so he, whenever that guy got hurt, and they're like, "Yeah, we need you to play now," he was like, "Nah, I'm good," and decided not to play. Just you didn't start me when I thought I was better, so I'm not going to play now. Like that's
that is kind of a like a bitchy attitude to have, especially in football when it's like it's not.
Like that was up there with Anthony Richardson asking to be taken out of the game for me. Like those are the same thing.
It's not always one person's decision to play a player, and you as a player, your job is to play when called on. Like
and if like you sign a contract.
And if you don't get called on, then cool, throw a chip on your shoulder, and then the second they ask you to come play, prove them wrong. Get in there and show them why they made a mistake on keeping you on the bench. Like that is the mindset that you need to have.
And a 3-year deal with that attitude is kind of worrisome.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, he's a stud when he plays. He's really fucking good. But I don't want to need him to play, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Meh, I'm good. I don't really like how you treated me before. I'm good." Like that's a huge red flag to me.
It's a bad attitude to have, and it can spread throughout a locker room.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to the defensive backfield here at cornerback. DJ Reed, the number 1 corner in free agency, signs with the Lions because they lost Carlton Davis III, who signed with the Patriots on a 3-year.
Are you just doing corners or safeties as well?
Safeties after. I was going to move on to safeties after.
Okay, because there was one that just dropped like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. I didn't know if you said that one yet or not.
Yeah, no, I said, I don't know if I said, did I say, I did. I did.
You did?
At the very beginning of the episode.
Okay. I was just double checking. I already forgot.
So.
Because it popped up on my end, and I was just like, But,
so,
all right, cool.
Back to it. DJ Reed, like I said, signs with the Lions, 3 years, $48 million. Carlton Davis III signs with the Patriots, 3 years, $60 million, which I think is backwards. Those contracts are backwards. I think DJ Reed's a better cornerback than Carlton Davis. But I also think DJ Reed is a better cornerback than Byron Murphy Jr., who we signed. And that was 3 years, $66 million. So I don't know what was going on there. Travarius Ward signs with the Colts, 3 years, $60 million. Rasul Douglas is still on the market. Kendall Fuller's still on the market. Asante Samuel Jr. is still on the market. Stephon Gilmore, I think he'll probably retire. Jonathan Jones. Darius Slay is still on the market. We'll see where that ends up. Mike Hilton, still on the market, former Steeler. And then you get names like Nate Hobbs, Brandon Stevens, Kristen Fulton, Isaiah Rodgers, Dante Jackson, Mike Jackson, a lot of those guys who have signed for 2 to 3 year contracts for $15 to $40 million a piece. I think the only person over that. Yeah. So nothing crazy. Like the Vikings signed Isaiah Rodgers. He was the Eagles' third cornerback last year. So like he's really good man guy, but not so good zone corner. So just kind of plug and play guys where you need them on your team. Safety, lots of good names here. Lots of good names here. This is a deep safety free agency class. You have Javon Holland signed with the New York Giants, 3 years, $45 million. He was kind of the cream of the crop. Cam Bynum, another top 3 guy. He signed with the Indianapolis Colts, 4 years, $60 million. Hufanga from the San Francisco 49ers, he signed with the Broncos, 3 years, $45 million. Him and Greenlaw now in Denver. Justin Reed has officially re-signed or has signed with the Saints. God, I'm so bad. I got tons of news popping up my phone. I'm reading like 8 different names. He signs with the Saints. Harrison Smith, he's still undecided on retirement, but if he comes back, he'll come back to the Vikings. He's not going anywhere else. Then you have Jeremy Chin, you have Julian Blackmon, DeMar Hamlin, Quandre Diggs, Xavier Woods, Von Bell, Will Harris signed with the Washington Commanders, Jalen Mills, who was a cornerback for the Eagles' first Super Bowl team, moved to safety later on in his career. Just tons of names there who are all free agents, looking to make a move, looking to get on a team that can be competitive and, make a run. So that leaves us with 3 position groups left. Tight end is where we'll go next. Not a very deep tight end class. We had Juwan Jennings, Mike Gesicki, Tyler Conklin, Zach Ertz, Austin Hooper, John Bates, and Evan Ingram. The only 2 of which are unsigned are Tyler Conklin and Evan Ingram. Juwan Johnson goes back to the Saints, 3 years, $30 million. Gesicki goes back to the Bengals, 3 years, $25 million. Ertz to the Commanders, 1 year, $6.25 million. Hooper re-signs with New England, 1 year, $5 million. And Bates re-signs with the Commanders for 3 years. The money has not been disclosed yet. So Conklin and Ingram, Evan Ingram, kind of a surprise cut by the Jags. Still some talent there to be had for him. So who knows where he ends up?
What about Goddard? I heard Goddard.
He's available for trade, not free agency.
Yeah.
That's so wild to me that the Eagles don't want to trade him. He's a dog, dude.
He's good. Running back, top of the market. Javonte Williams signed with the Cowboys, 1 year, $3 million. Like that for you guys. Nice dual threat back for your guys' backfield.
Good
Najee
RB2.
Harris. What's up?
Oh, I was just saying good RB2.
Oh, yeah. Najee Harris, who, in my opinion, may be the most underrated free agency signing of anybody, goes to Jim Harbaugh's offense with the Chargers, 1 year, $9.25 million. I mean, he's going to be a workhorse. Like a workhorse. He's going to get 300 touches.
Yeah.
Like, he is going to be an absolute unit. Aaron Jones re-signs with the Vikings, 2 years, $20 million. I like it. He's a good locker room guy for us. The coaching staff loved him. I definitely expect us to add another running back through free agency or the draft. I hope the draft. Big names left. J.K. Dobbins, Rico Dowdle, Kareem Hunt, Gus Edwards, Miles Sanders, Kyle Juszczyk, which is huge that he's available. And last but not least, a name that he must have, his knee must be completely shredded and teams are afraid to touch him, but Nick Chubb.
Huh.
I mean, this is a dude who 2 years ago was a top 3 running back in the league.
Yeah.
Like perception-wise, and now you're telling me 2 years later he's a free agent, nobody wants to touch him? Like, his knees must be, like, destroyed.
Who was he with last year?
The Browns. He's only ever played for the Browns. So
That's right.
that's Nick Chubb is a great running back. If his knees aren't completely shredded, I would love to have that guy on my team. And last but not least, the quarterbacks. The QBs of this free agent market. Number 1 on the list.
Sam Darnold.
Damn Sarnold. Signs with the Seattle Seahawks, 3 years, $105 million. We don't have the exact contract details yet, but I assume it's like a $40 million year, a $40 million year, and then like a $20 million year. And, 25 guaranteed, 25 guaranteed, nothing guaranteed, as so they can get out of that contract the third year if they needed to for Seattle if Sam Darnold doesn't pan out. Justin Fields signs with the New York Jets, taking over for Aaron Rodgers. 2 years, $40 million. I feel bad for Jets fans.
He had a no-compete clause. Hey, man, don't. It can't get any worse.
I feel bad for Jets fans.
Can't get any worse.
It just did. They have to watch. They went from getting to watch Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams lose games to now they have to watch Justin Fields lose games. It just got worse.
We'll see.
Like, at least with Rodgers and Adams, there's like, oh, that's a cool thing, and there's hope. With Justin Fields, it's like,
like I said, I don't think it can get worse, to be honest. I really don't.
And then the only other signed quarterback right now, Indiana Jones. Daniel Jones goes to the Indianapolis Colts. 1 year, $14 million. I love the new nickname, Indiana Jones. Yeah, I mean it goes from Danny Dimes to
I'd like to see a resurgence from him, man. I think that'd be cool.
Sam Darnold type season.
Yeah, dude, and it would just further put a nail in the coffin for anybody in New York, because it's like, not only did you make the wrong call in keeping Saquon and then keeping Daniel Jones, and then he flopped. Now he goes away and does good. That just means that the Giants is very bad.
I don't think Daniel Jones has it, but who knows?
I don't think he's going to be the starter, and the Colts go 14-2 I don't think that's going to happen.
That's
also didn't think that Sam Darnold was going to do that last year. I was the number one hater for him, and so
Shane Steichen's a good coach. We'll see. Unsigned quarterbacks. Top of the list, Aaron Rodgers. Second on the list, Russell Wilson.
Yep.
And then third on the list, the greatest quarterback of all time, Jameis
Winston.
Yes.
Knew it.
Jacoby Brissett, Marcus Mariota, Mason Rudolph, Joe Flacco, and Mac Jones are also unsigned, but Jameis, I expect to get a high-level backup job somewhere, right? Like, he's going to be a guy that comes in to mentor a young quarterback type situation.
He needs to get signed.
Russell Wilson, I like Jameis Winston to Minnesota, really. I do.
Yeah, he'd be a nice backup for you guys.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, where does he go?
Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, the last two quarterbacks dominoes to fall. I'm checking my phone right now.
I've been seeing rumors of
a new
Aaron
backup
Rodgers.
for Kyler Murray. Hold on. As I checked my phone 5 minutes ago, a new backup for Kyler Murray. Who is it?
Jameis Winston.
Jacoby Brissett.
So
we can update that. Jacoby Brissett he plans to sign with the Arizona Cardinals to back up Kyler Murray. That is official via Rapoport and Schefter. All these moves we are reporting were reported by Rapoport and Schefter.
Who?
Schefter.
There you go. I was like, who's Schefter?
No, Schefter.
You said Schefter.
Did I really?
I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Well, his name is Adam Schefter.
The rumors that I'm hearing around Aaron Rodgers right now, there's two teams. It's Steelers and Giants. So, don't know.
I have heard.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I have heard relentlessly the Vikings are a part of that, and I do not believe it. Everybody told me that the Vikings were trying to get a deal done with Sam Darnold, and they were trying to make it work to keep Sam in Minnesota, and I was like, that's not happening. 0% chance that will happen. He will go sign somewhere else. And voila, here he is in Seattle, and there's just, you don't take a quarterback at number 10 overall
and sit him for 2 years.
And sit him for 2 years. Like, you don't do that. Yeah. Do I think there's a world in which they want a legitimate backup in case an injury were to happen?
Sure.
Yes, but I think that stems more from Kirk Cousins 2 years ago and us having to trade for Josh Dobbs and throw Nick Mullins in and start Jaron Hall. And that mess of a season, it stems more from learning from that. And so a Jameis Winston, great backup who I would love to have. Marcus Mariota, great backup who I would love to have. So Joe Flacco, stuff like that. I would love to see those guys.
Great backup you would love to have.
But he wouldn't. He's not. The Falcons are so weird. We can talk about that for a second. Falcons are so fucking weird, dude. They're not making him available. So I'm gonna pull up his. Let's see.
Is he looking
And it
for a
sucks.
trade?
And it sucks because he should, because he's such a competitive player.
Yeah, he's
and
hyper competitive guy, wants to play in the NFL, and he had a
wants to
meeting with
win.
Falcons ownership, and he was like, I want to go somewhere where I can start. That's what I want. And they told him, no, you're going to play
crazy.
for us, but you're going to sit on the bench.
Yeah,
he is due $40 million against the cap this year. He is due, okay. So they have an out next season. So potential out in 2026, 2-year, $100 million, 35. So they would incur $35 million in dead cap and have to write Cousins a $100 million check, and they could let him walk next year. So, but it would only count as $35 million against the cap. But they would have to write a $100 million check.
That's so much money to use on a quarterback that's just going to sit on your bench right now.
And that's so rude to do. That's so rude to do to somebody who desperately wants
we're talking about two teams like the Steelers and the Giants could easily use Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, absolutely. And if, I don't know.
The Titans would even be a decent fit for him.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%, but I don't think they're going to do it. They've already said we're not making him available. So unless something crazy, unless a team throws, we'll give you a first-round draft pick for Kirk Cousins. And who in God's name is that desperate or dumb? After watching Kirk play last year, I love Kirk. Kirk's a great guy. Gave me 6 great years in Minnesota, played his ass off for me, and I love him for it. I wish him the best in life, okay? And I'm not even mad at him for leaving when he did, because the Falcons went, we'll give you $180 million with $120 million guaranteed, just waved it in front of his face. And we were like, we'll give you 1 year, $40 million. And I would walk away and go, okay, well, my wife's family is from Atlanta. I love my time in Minnesota, but my wife can be closer to her family, and I can make $120 million more over the next 4 years. Yes, please. Like, there was a no-brainer for him. The Falcons are doing smart business things for their franchise, because if Michael Penix gets hurt, you have Kirk Cousins on the bench ready to step in. But I think Kirk's spent, because I don't think he can drive off of his Achilles foot anymore. And so he doesn't have the zip on the passes that he used to, and he can't move around almost at all within the pocket. So
that's fair.
For somebody who's already a statue, it's pretty problematic. He's going to be 37 this year. I don't love it. I think he should. I said this last year. He should have just walked away. Should have just walked. He's made plenty of money. Should have just walked away from the game.
I don't know, man. That $135 million sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, I can't blame him for signing.
I can't blame him for that.
But he's made before the $100 million they have to pay him. He has already made $294,169,486 in his career. He's made almost $300 million in his career. That's crazy. Kirk Cousins, $300 million man. That's insane.
Right. That's insane. He's only got that.
I mean, that's insane that he's got that. I mean, when you look at a guy like, let's look at somebody who played way
Aaron Rodgers.
No, Aaron Rodgers is the highest paid quarterback ever. Yeah. Highest paid player ever.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady made in his career, Tom Brady made $332,000 from
million.
Nope. Yep, million.
300.
You said thousand.
You said thousand.
Oh, my bad. $332 million. $332,962,392.
That's just deals with the NFL. That's not.
Yeah.
But this is not all this extra.
No, that's not all of his money by any means. But for a guy who's a 3-time MVP and 7-time Super Bowl champion, he made $35 million more
than Kirk Cousins.
In let's see, an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In an extra 12 seasons, he made $35 million more than Kirk Cousins has made.
Imagine signing a quarterback to a 12-year, $35 million deal.
Oh my God. and then getting Tom Brady out of it.
Yeah.
Insane.
Oh, that's crazy.
But yeah, so that is. Am I missing it? Oh, I know what I'm missing. I know what I'm missing here. I gotta pull up my spreadsheet here. So here we go. I know what I was missing. We're missing extensions. Big name extensions here. We got some names here. And the first name we're gonna go over, the name at the top of the list. Can anybody guess whose name that would be?
Trey Smith.
Nope. There's one extension literally bigger than everyone else.
Oh, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Yep.
Josh Allen signed a 6-year, $330 million. Let's put that in perspective. Josh Allen is about to make, in one contract, $2 million less than Tom Brady's 20-plus year career in the NFL. And Josh Allen's going to do it in six years.
That just goes to show how the market is.
Dude, that is insane. Guaranteed at signing. So guaranteed, can't get out of it. They are going to pay him $250 million.
Most guaranteed.
That is insanity. I mean, good for Allen though.
I'd pay for Josh Allen.
I mean,
would 100%. That contract makes sense.
MVP. Haley gets engaged to him. Andy gets this contract. I mean, dude's living life right now. It's only down from here. Dude could win a Super Bowl and it's only down from here. Like, that's insane. I love that for him. Absolutely love that for Josh Allen. We talked about Cooper Kupp likely to be cut early in the episode. Laramie Tunsil was traded to Washington for a 2nd and a 4th round pick. That's pretty insane considering he's a star left tackle and that the Houston Texans already don't have any linemen. Like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, this honestly just puts the expectations for Washington extremely high.
Oh, dude.
They got to the NFC Championship with who they had on year 1 of a quarterback and a new head coach. Year 1.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get to the Super Bowl.
The NFC is stacked right now. Stacked.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Vikings didn't play well. Vikings didn't play well in the playoffs, but they just fixed their issues in the trenches in free agency. They signed a brand new center and a brand new all-pro guard. They just signed 3 defensive interior guys. So trenches are shored up there. Re-signed their back end. They're fixed up. They're ready to rock and roll. You get the Lions, who get DJ Reed, substitute for Carlton Davis. They're going to be healthy. Now, I don't know if you boys remember a couple years ago, somebody right here said the Lions head coach would be fired within 2 years of Ben Johnson leaving. And I'm sticking to that.
Okay.
Ben Johnson leaving will have a massive effect on that offense. You watch.
I don't think it's going to be 2 years. Dan Campbell's done so much with this team already. He's shown them more than what they've seen.
No chance. Do you want to put money on it? Because there's no chance that Dan Campbell gets fired at the end of this coming season or at the end of the next season. There is 0 chance he gets fired.
No chance.
It's
0.
Whenever we're sitting here at like week 9 and you're like, man, this Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, how is this team not winning games? And we're going to be sitting here saying it.
$100 on it.
I'd put $100 on it, yeah. Shake.
$100, shake. So as of the end of next season.
So the end of the 2020. So before the start of the 2027 season, before the start, the new league year. So like March 10th or whatever the new league year of the 2027 season.
Okay.
He will be fired.
Deal.
He
will not. No chance. There's no chance.
It's gonna happen. Oh
my god!
You guys are going to be blown away by how bad.
I mean, he might be on the hot seat. I mean, if it goes bad, he might be on the hot seat. But man,
he's going to be on the hot seat.
Listen, man. Even if he only gets 8 wins the next 2 seasons, he's not going to be fired.
Remind me in 2 years to collect $100 from Brenner.
Oh, I just made it a note too, so I have it written down.
Perfect. I love this. It's going to happen.
March 11th, 2027. Collect $100.
I can't wait to collect that 100. DK Metcalf traded for a second-round pick. We talked about him on our Fastest Players episode. Make sure
Yep.
to go check out the channel, tune into that later on. That'll drop later this week.
They wanted the first
Turn
for him.
the
That's
noti
crazy.
bell on, and you'll get the alert when that episode drops. We ranked the fastest players in the NFL, and Dalton had a few things to say.
It took a while, but we finally made it through.
Took a while. It took like 20 minutes. It took like 20 minutes.
I feel like it could have taken us much less than that, but
Well, yeah, but, I like to talk.
Hey, it's a debate. It's a friendly debate.
I host a podcast, dude. I like to talk. Sue me.
of course. Okay, go ahead. I'm just saying. A lot of arguments.
Oh yeah, well, wouldn't be good. Wouldn't be entertainment if there wasn't arguments. DK traded for a second to Pittsburgh. I love this move. You need to go get a quarterback though. You need a QB1. Russ or Aaron Rodgers needs to end up in Pittsburgh, or they gotta pray to God Shadur Sanders falls to them and he's not a bust. And I mean, I would rather have Russ and Aaron Rodgers as plan A and Shadur Sanders as a plan B on the bench. That'd be great. But
I mean,
we'll
I
see how
thought
that works
Russ
out.
didn't do terrible last year, and now you would make a reunion with DK. Like they already have some.
I think
Time
Russ is
together,
going to
so-
get a deal. I think Russ is going to get a deal done. And
I
You know
it's
what I
the
think
only
is
one that makes
hilarious?
sense.
I
I
think
think
Aaron
it makes the
Rodgers
most
is one of the
sense.
Giants.
You know what I thought was hilarious for the Pittsburgh Steelers? That Justin Fields was like, I'm not going to come back unless you make me your QB1 and commit to me. And they were like, cool, bye.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it. The Jets were the only ones crazy enough to do that.
That's just the
Miles
Jets
Garrett.
for you.
Miles Garrett, $40 million a year. Money talks. He was like, I want out. I want to win championships. It's not about the money anymore. I want to go somewhere where I can compete and win for a chip. And then
Yep.
they're like, $40 million.
million.
And he
Max
goes,
Crosby.
I'll
know,
stay.
I like Cleveland. Cleveland's nice.
Max Crosby did the same thing, man. He
Yeah.
came on, he was a little, and everybody he did want to be a Raider for sure, but
Yeah.
everybody was exaggerating a little bit too much.
Mm.
But he definitely was saying oh, I want to win, I don't want to do this, and they were like,
Yeah.
how about you be the highest paid non-quarterback? You know,
And he's like,
he's like, nah,
all right,
Yeah.
you got me. You got me.
Money talks,
Seahawks-
bullshit walks.
We talked about Seahawks extending Ernest Jones. We talked about Chris Godwin back to Tampa Bay, Devontae Adams to LA. Gregory Rousseau gets a 4-year, $80 million extension from the Bills, showing up another stud there. Zach Bond gets a 3-year extension from the Eagles. He was set to be a really high priority free agent for a lot of teams. And then last but not least, one of the first trades that broke, shout out to my buddy Leaf. I work with him. He predicted this the night before it happened. We were at work, and I said Geno Smith should get traded, and you guys should sign Sam Darnold. And he goes, I agree we should trade Geno, but I don't think we should sign Sam Darnold. We should draft somebody and go with him. And I was like, you guys are going to draft Sam. It's going to be great, and you're going to trade Geno to the Raiders. And he's like, I love Geno to the Raiders for a 3rd-round pick. And I was like, you're insane. He'll go for a 5th-round pick. And he's like, nah, it'll be a 3rd-round pick. And I was like, it's a little high for Geno Smith, 34-year-old quarterback who's been a journeyman and not exactly
If
like a
Trey
all-pro.
Smith can go to the Cowboys for a 4th-round pick, I mean, a 3rd round is,
So, anyways, long story short, the next morning, the news breaks, and Geno Smith for a 3rd-rounder, and I immediately texted him. I was like, holy, dude, can't believe you called this correct. And the first thing he responded with, I should have said it first. Didn't know I could predict the future. Should have said it first. And I was like, yep, you should have.
I think a 3rd-round pick is fine. I don't hate
that's
it.
way too high,
Anything
man.
higher than that, though, man, no.
I think that's way too high.
Yeah, but you're trading a 3rd-round pick for the guy that just finished in the top 5 in total passing yards last season. Geno Smith proved he can throw the ball.
Yeah, he can throw the ball. I'm not disagreeing with that, but he's a low end game manager, in my opinion. Like low end game, like he's a top 20 to 25. Like you could make the argument he is top 20 quarterback. You cannot make the argument he's a top 15 quarterback to me. He's like there's the top third, like the top 15 quarterbacks in the world. There's the top 32 quarterbacks in the world. And then there's the top 50 quarterbacks in the world. And he's square within that middle third. He's an NFL quarterback. He is not a great NFL quarterback. I wouldn't even I wouldn't even say he's an above average NFL quarterback. I would say
Sam Darnold.
I would put Sam
NFL
Darnold.
Quarterback.
I would say Sam Darnold is better than Geno.
After one season, after a single season, he's a game manager.
So,
we just
I agree. But Sam Darnold is a standard level game manager. I think Geno Smith is a low end game manager. We're splitting hairs here again.
I was about to say if we're splitting hairs and you say Sam Darnold's a 5 out of 10 or a 5.1 out of 10, then Geno Smith is a 5.0 or a 5.09. You know what I mean? Like it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Geno Smith was top 10 in yards last season. So was Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold finished with a slightly worse passer. No, better passer rating. Sam Darnold finished with 100.8. Geno finished with a 93.2. And the average for the NFL is like 96. So Geno's just slightly worse than average. Sam's just slightly better than average. And then I'm not trying to sit here and be like, dude, Sam Darnold's so much better than Geno.
Yeah.
I mean, future career-wise, I think he is, because Sam Darnold has 10 years left in the NFL, whereas Geno has 3.
We'll see what he does with those 10
Well,
years.
yeah. But standing here right now is what I meant by that.
And it'll be sort of accurate because now Sam Darnold is going to where Geno Smith was, so we'll see how he does with what they have.
If Sam Darnold produces anywhere near Geno Smith's numbers with this version of the Seahawks compared to what Geno Smith's version of the Seahawks look like, I'm going up on a soapbox about how Sam Darnold's a way better quarterback because this offense will be substantially worse passing. Yeah. Now, running the football, I think they'll be better, but passing-wise, way less talent on this team. So if he produces even close to Geno Smith, then in my mind, it wasn't even ever close.
Agreed.
It's still not close. I would still take... if Sam Darnold's a C+ quarterback, Geno Smith is a C- to a D+.
Okay.
If
I wouldn't put Sam Darnold that low. I'd say he's maybe a B-, C+.
I would say C+, slightly above average, just above average, because you can ask him to make the occasional wow play, but then you're going to get the occasional wow play. Yeah. So those balance out, and then he's just a solid game manager in between there. And Geno Smith led the league in red zone interceptions with 7. He makes he makes mistakes at the most crucial times.
Yeah.
Spoon, you got anything to add?
Nope. I think I'm good.
Don't got anything. No thoughts on Geno versus Sammy? Crazy.
I mean, they're not better than Baker, so.
Well, Sam is.
Oh no! Get out of here.
Baker.
He's way better than Baker, but he had less.
All right, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm kidding.
Way better passer rating. Way better passer rating.
Way
better, but 1.068 to 1.025 better.
So then Sam Darnold had a way better passer rating than Geno Smith?
He did.
I mean, I just said 2 minutes ago that it was just slightly better.
All right.
I don't know. I'm not at all trying to argue that Baker is not better than Sam Darnold. I would take Baker in a heartbeat over Sam Darnold. Don't misinterpret that. I want to make that clear. But yeah, you guys have anything else you want to add to the show? I mean, am I missing any free agent news? I could go
damn near hit.
We talked about. We've been on here for almost an hour. We talked about damn near everything.
All the big ones. All the big
ones. We have mock draft coming out later this week, 2.0. We have Film Room Friday coming out on Friday. We ranked the top 10 fastest players in the NFL, which is very, very, very controversial if you ask Dalton, and it's pretty simple if you ask me.
I don't know. Did you brought up the Panthers releasing Myles Garrett, right?
You mean Miles Sanders?
Or Miles Sanders, sorry. Not
yes,
Myles Garrett.
Yes,
Miles Sanders.
Yeah, that was a huge surprise cut. Because didn't they just sign him to a 2-year extension this year? I feel like that just happened.
I couldn't tell you.
Hold on. Oh, I typed his name in wrong.
You type in Myles Garrett
instead of an I.
Type in Myles Garrett instead of Miles Sanders.
No, I typed in Miles Sanders, but I spelled it with a Y on accident for some dumb reason. Let's see. Signed a 4-year, $25 million contract. Yeah, 4-year, $25 million in 2023. So it's 2 years ago.
Okay.
But still, like,
I mean, he was one of the top backs in the league like 2 years ago, wasn't he?
yeah, he filled in for when he was in Philadelphia. Then he came over to the Panthers when McCaffrey left. It was like Chuba Hubbard for like a season and a half, and then Sanders came over.
Yep, in 2022, he was he had the fifth most rushing yards out of running backs. So that's kind of
just proves you don't need to draft running backs. You don't need to pay him or draft him. I mean, don't get me wrong. A Saquon Barkley, a Derrick Henry, like a generational back makes a difference on your team, especially.
I was just gonna say, Jerry Jones, if you're watching, I would take Miles Sanders. Okay, give us a big back, please.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I have no clue. What's going to happen. But what I do know is we will be right here next week again to go over all the finalized deals. Because remember, everything we talked about on this show, reported by Ian Rapoport and Adam Schefter. Okay. Everything
Schefter.
Yes, I said it really slow for you that time. Even.
You did it. I swear
you said Schefter again.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Dude, I
said
even
Schefter.
Schefter.
I'm just saying. I heard the.
I said
might
it super slow into the mic with a T.
You might need to get a mic. You said Schefter.
Bro, you check your ears.
You did. You said Schefter.
I can't wait to listen to this tomorrow. Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, guys are hearing things. I even said it really slow into the mic on purpose and enunciated the T so that you guys, to make fun of Dalton for earlier.
You said Schefter.
No, Schefter.
All right.
Either way, well, we're going to go over all the deals that get finalized next week right here on the show. So make sure to tune in. We love you. And I love Adam Schefter.